all to LawSikho's thorough newspaper analysis for 25th August 23. Today's agenda of the day, starting with the editorial session. Section 377 is gone, but from here, the proposed Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita does not protect men against rape. From the Indian Express. Then we will discuss about the news update, which will include all the national and the international news, with important days, awards and sports. And lastly, the legal news update from the Honorable Supreme Court and Honorable High Court. Now, starting with the today's editorial. Now, as we regularly do it, we understand the context of every editorial, which helps you to understand why is the editorial all about, and why are we talking about, why it is in news. So let us understand the context of this particular editorial from the Indian Express. The Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita 2023, the proposed replacement for the Indian Penal Code does not contain IPC Section 377, or in fact any equivalent section, which was read down by the Honorable Supreme Court in 2018. While Section 377, that is unnatural offences, remain in the IPC, it can no longer be used to criminalize gay sex between consulting adults. But as per some experts, the absence of this section in the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita can leave adult male victims of sexual assault without much recourse in the law. Now, let us understand what Section 377 of the IPC wants. Whoever voluntarily has carnal intercourse against the order of nature with any man, woman, or animal shall be punished with imprisonment for life or with imprisonment of either description for a term which may extend to 10 years and shall also be liable to fine. Now, the explanation to this particular section says that penetration is sufficient to constitute the carnal intercourse necessary to the offense. Now, what was the effect of Section 377? For decades, the LGBTQ community and others argued that this section was discriminatory and provided legal protection to the harassment and intimidation of gay couples. How did this section become the part of IPC? Now, when we talk about Section 377, every section, every law in the society has a purpose, has a reason behind it, has a history associated with it. So let us understand the history of this particular section. The archaic law criminalizes sexual activities that were seen to be against the order of nature. Its roots lie in the offense of sodomy or burglary, which was first recorded as a crime in the medieval common law treaties of CLAT 2019 and Breton 1300. In 1543, during the reign of Henry VIII, the Act for the Punishment of the Wife of Burglary was passed, which prescribed the death penalty for unnatural sexual acts against the will of God. While anyone could technically be convicted under the 1553 Act for unnatural sexual acts, such as bestiality, same-sex convictions were the most commonplace. After this, the Burglary Act, which was reenacted in 1566, laid down a template for the British colonies. So, we understood the context, why we are talking about it. We understood what was the legislative provision in the law and how this particular section came into force. Now, let us discuss more on the Section 377 getting in force. Centuries later, in 1828, a new law, such as the Offences Against Persons Act, were enacted, which are focused specifically on male same-sex activities, making sodomy punishable by death. However, in 1861, the punishment for the offense was reduced to 10-year term in England and Wales. Earlier in 1837, A draft penal code was proposed to punish unnatural love. However, the report of the then Law Commission of India refused to discuss it. On October 6, 1860, the IPC, along with Section 377, was assented to by the Governor General after its passage by the Legislative Council. Now, how did Section 377 ultimately go, and what was the judicial pronouncement on this particular section? Let's discuss on that. In 2004, Honorable Delhi High Court dismissed a plea against Section 377 IPC. But in 2006, Honorable Supreme Court remitted it back to the Honorable Delhi High Court. In 2009, the High Court bench of Chief Justice Mr. A.P. Shah and Justice S. Muralidhar ruled Section 377 IPC in so far it criminalizes consensual sex act of adults in private is violative of Article 21, 14 and 15 of the Constitution. Now, in the year 2013, Honorable Supreme Court recriminalized Section 377, saying the High Court order was legally unsustainable, and it has overlooked that a minuscule fraction of the country's population constitute lesbians, gay, bisexual, or transgender, and in last more than 150 years, less than 200 persons have been prosecuted. Finally, in 2018, a five-judge bench of the Honorable Supreme Court decriminalized consensual sex between two adults, irrespective of their gender, and partially struck down Section 377 of the IPC. Delivering its verdict on a petition filed by Bharatanatyam dancer Navpreet Singh Johar, the apex court referred to those areas of the section that criminalize consensual unnatural sex as irrational, indefensible, and manifestly arbitrary. The court also noted that Section 377 was used as a weapon to harass members of the LGBTQ community, resulting in their discrimination. Section 377 is arbitrary. LGBT community pressures to rise like others. Majoritarian views and popular morality cannot dictate constitutional rights. One of the phenomenal writings of the Honorable Supreme Court, and it was a very winning judgment for everybody in this country. Now, in the ruling, the court also made it clear that other aspects dealing with unnatural sex with animals and children still remain in force, and what it was confining order to consenting acts between two adults. Now, how is the position changed by the proposed new bill that has come up? It has been pointed out that if the bill is passed in its present form, groups including male victims of sexual acts would lose the legal protection accorded to them. This, it is argued, is because the offense of rape as defined in the proposed new bill is gendered. This means that it is committed by a man against a woman, while this is the position in the IPC as the Section 377 IPC, which mentions carnal intercourse against the order of nature with any man, woman, or animal, did offer protection to non-minor males from rape. Now, in the proposed new bill, this section is gone. There is no provision like this in the new bill. In the IPC, Section 375 defines rape and lists 7 notions of consent, which, if violated, would constitute the offense of rape by a man. In the proposed new bill, rape is covered under Section 63. Now, IPC Section 375 and 376 punishments for rape are replaced under subhead sexual offences in Chapter 16 of offences affecting the human body. But in the proposed new bill, the subhead of sexual offences is under Chapter 5, offences against women and children. Now, post Supreme Court 2018 verdict, several police officers sought guidelines to deal with these cases where, let's say, a gay man withdrew consent and launched a complaint against their partner. But India's laws on sexual assault do not recognize men as victims of rape as of yet. However, the proposed new bill does not mention unnatural lust in at least in at least two places. Section 38 says the right of private defense of one's body will extend to the voluntarily causing of death or any other harm to the assailant if the offense that occasions the exercise of the right is an assault with the intention of gratifying a natural lust. And Section 138 Clause 4 punishes kidnapping or abducting a person to subject them to or put them in danger of being subjected to grievous hurt or slavery or to the unnatural loss of any person. But again, the proposed new bill does not define the term unnatural loss. So this is something, in a sense, it's a very debatable topic, debatable part of the portion of the IPC, which needs to be dealt with. Here we are just making sure that every information of and every aspect of a particular topic comes onto you, and then you can analyze what is right, what is wrong. Now, starting with the national news of the day, panel at formed for restructuring and redefining role of DRDO. A nine-member committee headed by former principal scientific advisor to government K. Vijayaraghavan has been set up by the Ministry of Defense to review functioning of defense research and development organization and suggest restructuring and redefining or its role to improve the output of the state-owned agency, aiding government's move to make India self-reliant in military sector. Defense Minister Mr. Rajnath Singh gave the note for the review of DRDO functioning more than a fortnight back, and the committee has been asked to submit its report in 3 months' time. On the directions of the Ministry of Defense, the DRDO has also taken punitive action against black sheep in the organization, including sacking a senior scientist, Pradeep Surulkar, who was arrested in May by the Maharashtra Anti-Terrorism Squad for passing confidential information to a Pakistani agent. The move comes after the CAT, that is Comptroller and Auditor General of India, came up with a report last December indicating the DRDO for declaring 20 mission mode projects successful despite not achieving their objective. Earlier too, the P. Ramarao Committee was constituted to review the functioning of DRDO. All the recommendations by the committee were accepted by DRDO, but for creation of a board of research for advanced defense sciences to function on the lines of Defense Advanced Research Project Agency of USA. Now, LIC gets 6.66% stake in Jio Financial Services through demerger process. The Life Insurance Corporation has announced that it has got 6.66% stake in Jio Financial Services, the demerged non-banking financial service unit of the Mukesh Ambani-led Reliance Group. The corporation has acquired 6.66% shareholding in Jio Financial Services Limited through demerger action by Reliance Industries Limited, LIC said in a regulatory filing. Jio Financial Services listed on the stock exchange on August 21. The market capitalization of the financial services company stood at close to rupees 1.60 lakh crore. LIC further said that the cost of acquisition of Jio Financial Services is 4.68% of the pre-demerged cost of Reliance Industries. Now, the shares of the Jio Financial Services were trading at rupees 239.20 apiece, down 4.99%, hitting the lower circuit limit of the second split session on the Bombay Stock Exchange. Now, one of the interesting facts here that we have come up is LIC chairperson Sri Siddharth Mohante. The next national news of the day, Kerala launches its first AI scheme in Thiruvananthapuram. Kerala got its first AI scheme at Santhagiri Vidyabavan. The inauguration was done by former President Ram Nath Kovind. The AI school is designed and molded by one of the world's most advanced educational platforms, iLearning Engines USA, in collaboration with Vedic School, managed by a committee of veteran professionals, including former chief secretaries, DGPs, and vice chancellors. AI School enables schools to achieve higher grades as the content and pedagogy are prepared in accordance with the National School Accreditation Standards based on new national education policy that was come up in 2020. As per the authorities, the AI school facility will be initially available to students from class 8 to 12. Intensive training is also available on the platform in order to prepare for competitive exams and coaching for entrance exams, including JEE, NEET, CUET, CLAT, GMAT, IELTS, among others, will also be provided. The student will be given guidance for higher studies and scholarship in top foreign universities. The school will provide the best quality educational services to students at very low fees. The students will have access to artificial intelligence based digital information via the school website. This will not incur any additional financial burden on the school. Now, Indian Coast Guard signed memorandum of understanding with Philippines Coast Guard on enhanced maritime cooperation holds the first bilateral meet. The commanders of the Coast Guard of India and Philippines on August 22nd signed an MOU on enhanced maritime cooperation. The MOU was signed by Director General Indian Coast Guard Rakesh Pal and Commandant Philippine Coast Guard Admiral Artemio M. Adu, who was on a visit to India from August 20 to 24. Both sides held their first bilateral meeting on a range of maritime issues. The implementation of this MOU will enhance bilateral maritime cooperation between the two nations for ensuring safe, secure, and clean seas in the region. Prior to signing of MOU, the five-member Philippine Coast Guard delegation visited Goa on August 21st to witness the operational capabilities of Indian Coast Guard ships and aircraft. The first ever bilateral meeting between the two shipping agencies signifies a commitment to strengthen professional ties by sharing best practices, conducting joint exercises, and strengthening training partnerships. Now, when we are talking about a partnership with Philippines, let us know some good facts about Philippines. The Philippines, officially the Republic of the Philippines, is an archipelagic country in Southeast Asia. An archipelago is a group of islands closely scattered in the body of river. Its capital is Manila and its currency is Philippine peso. Now, coming up to the next national news of the day, Honey Dabas wins first ever gold medal for India. Rahul Jograjiya secured historic silver on opening day of World Para Powerlifting Championship 2023. In a historic first, Indian powerlifters Honey Dabas and Rahul Jograjiya bagged gold and silver medals to open the Dubai World Para Powerlifting Championship this year. Dabas clinched the national first ever gold with lifts of 132 kg and then 135 kg. Meanwhile, Jograjiya secured the silver medal with a final lift of 132 kg in a fiercely contested men's 72 kg junior weight category. Before this, India won bronze in 2021 World Championship. World Powerlifting Championship, Senior and Junior World Championship is an ongoing powerlifting competition for athletes with disability. It is held in Dubai, UAE from 22nd to 30th of August. The tournament is one of the compulsory tournaments to qualify for 2024 Summer Paralympics in Paris, France. Now, the international news, real estate tycoon Srettha Thavisin secures votes to become Thailand's 30th Prime Minister. Now, Srettha Thavisin from the populist Youth High Party secured enough votes in Parliament to become Thailand's 30th Prime Minister on August 22nd. Property tycoon Srettha's victory with 482 votes from the 727 politicians present and months of suspense, legal wrangling, and horse trading that followed the May elections. The parliamentary vote comes hours after divisive ex-prime minister Thaksin Shinawatra returned to Thailand after years of self-imposed exile to face criminal charges after being ousted in 2006 military coup. His return was an emotional moment for supporters of the 74-year-old billionaire who won the loyalty of millions with populist policy that directed attention and funding to the country's largely ruler, often impoverished, poorest north. Now, when we are talking about Thailand, let's know some facts about Thailand. Thailand is located in the center of mainland Southeast Asia. Its currency is Thai baht and capital is Bangkok. Now, the next international news, BRICS agrees to welcome six new members, says Prime Minister Modi. In a landmark decision, members of BRICS, that is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, declared expansion of the grouping by welcoming six new members into the fold. Announcing the decision at the end of the 15th BRICS summit at Johannesburg, Prime Minister Modi said, I am pleased that our teams have come up to an agreement on guiding principles, standards, criteria, and procedures for expansion. And based on this, today we have agreed to welcome Argentina, Egypt, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Ethiopia, and UAE into BRICS. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa, current chair of BRICS, presented the Johannesburg Declaration, the outcome document of the summit, and made an indirect reference to the Ukraine conflict, saying the grouping members had sought peaceful resolution of the state. Now, the BRICS expansion that is coming up, the initial meeting of leaders from BRICS nations comprising Brazil, Russia, India, China, took place in St. Petersburg, Russia, during the G8 Outreach Summit in July 2006. Following this, in September 2006, the group was formally established as BRICS during the initial inaugural BRICS Foreign Ministers meeting, which convened alongside the UN General Assembly General Debate in New York City. After a series of high-level gatherings, the first ever BRICS summit was convened in Russia in 2009. South Africa was added in 2010, consequently participated in the third BRICS summit 2011 held in China. Now, World Water Week 2003, date, theme, significance, and the history. The World Water Week is a global event which is organized by the Stockholm International Water Institute every year since 1991. The program was held from August 20 to 24 at the Waterfront Congress Center, and the theme was Seeds of Change, Innovative Solutions for a Water-Wise World. And what's the history of World Water Week? It's an annual event that has been held every year since 1991. It is organized by the Stockholm International Water Institute, a non-profit organization that promotes water solutions for a sustainable world. The first Water Week was held in Stockholm, Sweden. The theme of this event was Water, a Looming Crisis. The event brought together water experts from around the world to discuss the challenges of water scarcity and pollution. Since then, World Water Week has been held every year in Stockholm. China launches Dolphin Earth Observation Flight. The China has launched a new Earth observation satellite into space from the Jiquan Satellite Launch Center located in northwest of the country. The satellite, named Dolphin 1204, was successfully placed into its intended orbit after being launched via Long March 4C carrier rocket. It will be used in a range of areas, including land surveys, urban planning, road network design, and disaster relief. It was the 484th flight of the Long March carrier rocket. China's president is Xi Jinping. Premium of the People's Republic of China, Lai Fong. Currency, Chinese yuan. Space Agency, China National Space Administration, and headquarters, Haidian, Beijing. Now, the legal update of the day. Section 202 GRPC procedure mandatory when one of the accused is a resident of a place outside magistrate jurisdiction by the Honorable Supreme Court in the case of O.D. Girang versus Nabajyoti Barua. The Honorable Supreme Court observed that the procedure under Section 202 CRPC is mandatory when one of the accused is a resident of a place outside the jurisdiction of the magistrate. The bench observed there cannot be any doubt that, in a view of the use of words shall in Section 1 of the Section 202 of CRPC and object of the amendment made by Act number 25 of 2005, the provision will have to be held as mandatory in case where the accused is residing at a place outside the jurisdiction of the learned magistrate. The next legal update of the day, retirement age can't be increased based on superannuation age in another similar post, Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has recently held that the age of superannuation for employees is determined solely by statutory rules. It held that even if two job positions share similar tasks, this similarity does not warrant altering an employee's service conditions. The bench, comprising of Chief Justice of India, D.Y. Chandrachud, and Justice J.D. Pardiwala, held the age of superannuation is always governed by the statutory rules governing appointment on a particular post. Hence, even if it is averred that the nature of work involved in the two posts is similar, the same cannot be a ground to increase or alter the service conditions of an employee, as each post is governed by its own set of rules. In the case of Central Council for Research in Ayurvedic Sciences versus Dukkar and Das. That's all for the today's news update and the legal news update. Keep learning. Thank you so much for watching.